Hello there. Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. We are sharing some secrets today. Specifically, what colleges secretly want in students. Very cool stuff today, and I hope you'll stick around. If you want to find out more about this article as I dive in, and there's going to be all kinds of links and everything that you'll want to check out, you can always find it at thecollegeinvestor.com. Just type in whatever the podcast title is right into the search bar, and you'll find it. We always have tons and tons of resources for you for every single podcast you hear. You can always hit the subscribe button so you're always up to date when we post new content, and we're doing it all the time too. Follow us all over social media. We're everywhere you are. You can just search for The College Investor, and we're probably there. We'd love to get to know you and help you along in your money journey. All right, let's get to this. What colleges secretly want in students. The college admissions process is notoriously competitive. So the last several decades might even indicate that getting into college has become harder overall. College acceptance rates hover right around the national average of 68%, though the rate of some of the nation's top institutions is a shocking 3%. 3? Huh. So let's go ahead and put that into perspective. Yeah, of course, acceptance rates drop when more students are applying, and colleges have largely seen nonstop growth since the mid-20th century. There are roughly 2 million more students enrolled in college today than in 2004. 2004. When I graduated high school, I'm not even that old. And just over 7 million more enrolled today than in 1984. Remember, like when the end of the world was supposed to be? In only 4 decades, that's nothing to sneeze at, right? And while colleges tend to emphasize the importance of an applicant's academic performance, extracurricular involvement, and personal essay, there are more covert factors taken into account that are not discussed publicly. So today we take a look at these less obvious yet significant aspects that could play a role in your admissions decision. Number 1, demonstrated interest. This refers to the various ways a student indicates interest in a specific college or university, based on things like campus visits, direct outreach, and even online activity. Yep, admissions offices are collecting more data on prospective students than ever before. Back in the olden days of 2004, I was visiting my college of choice, and I basically told them, this is the only place I want to go. And they were like, okay. I think they took that into consideration. Every phone call I got, I was like, I want to go to this school. I want to go to this school. Please make that possible to go to this school. I really want to I just kept doing that, and it worked. Not saying it's going to work for everybody, though. So this is partly due, admissions offices are collecting more data than ever. And with that, it's partly due to the necessary adaptations made during and after COVID-19. I was going to school in 2004, way before the COVID thingy was going on. But it's also because today's typical 18-year-old is likely to engage with a prospective college almost entirely online. So, schools had to get creative with how they track student interest, which helps them determine how serious a student is about attending their school if accepted. I would actually say, don't do it all online. Make a phone call. Just them hearing your voice, hearing how excited you are about their college can make a huge difference, no joke. The good news about all this is likely something you're already doing, being online all the time. You just didn't even know it was being monitored. But why do colleges care about this anyway? Colleges translate a higher level of demonstrated interest to a greater chance of enrollment. Predicting these numbers helps colleges manage their enrollment rates, and showing sustained interest in a school both signals your commitment and makes you a more attractive applicant. Here's why this all matters. Colleges value demonstrated interest from students, and expressing your interest could benefit your chances of acceptance in turn. Number 2, geographic diversity. Okay, so where you're from could actually determine your college prospects. Why is that? Well, because colleges use geographic diversity as a way to create a more varied and enriching campus environment. In fact, because most institutions are constantly working to broaden their geographic reach, students from underrepresented states, regions, or even countries may have an edge. in the admissions process. Earlier this year, U.S. News and World Report wrote about this exact topic. In it, they say, and I quote, "Colleges want to build a diverse student body, and geographical information could give context about an applicant's academic curriculum and the cultural diversity they can bring to the school." End quote. In particular, since the U.S. Supreme Court's 2023 ruling against race-based college admissions, schools have largely turned to geography as the next best reference point of cultural, racial, and socioeconomic identity. Here's why it matters. There are several benefits to having a geographically diverse student body, so colleges typically seek students from underrepresented regions. All right, number 3, legacy status. This is one of the most significant, yet often unspoken factors in the college admissions process. Legacy status refers to the priority ranking commonly given to the children or grandchildren of alumni who are more likely to receive admission to that school. Is it still used? Well, some studies do suggest that legacy benefits are waning, while other studies indicate the practice is still in use at a decent number of institutions. Pretty interesting. So having legacy status isn't necessarily enough to base an admissions decision on itself, but it can certainly influence the overall decision when considered with other factors. Legacy status admissions are a mutually beneficial transaction. The incoming student receives admission into a desirable school, and the school is more likely to receive greater alumni engagement and donations. Though this factor is a little bit controversial, schools, especially prestigious ones, view legacy status as contributing to a sense of continuity and tradition that reinforces the college community and identity. And here's why this matters. Applying as a legacy student is just one more way to demonstrate your interest in a school. An admissions office may take this as a signal that you are more likely to enroll, given your pre-existing ties to the campus. And here's number 4, institutional priorities. Every single year, colleges set specific institutional needs and priorities that shape their admissions decisions. And some of these priorities are long-term and address the overall mission of the school. Others are short-term and typically make up for some perceived lack at the institution. Institutional priorities are unique to each school, and they're determined by their leadership. If you want a better idea of a school's priorities, you can just locate their strategic plan. And we got actually a link to a really good example of what a strategic plan looks like at thecollegeinvestor.com right inside this article. And you can just read through that to identify the steps that they plan to take toward meeting their mission and values. And a FYI, actually, a quick internet search returned the strategic plan of my alma mater, and it took like 10 seconds or something. I don't know. Here are a few of the common institutional priorities. Athletes, first-generation college students. Again, that kind of flies in the face of the legacy thing we talked about earlier, but still, students from underrepresented backgrounds, race, gender, geography, etc., winners of academic scholarships and competitions, students interested in new or under-enrolled academic programs. Legacies, we touched on this earlier. This includes both students of faculty and staff, too. And having a hook, which we're going to talk about in just a bit. So, for example, a school might prioritize admissions of students seeking STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, to help balance gender ratios in specific programs and departments. Why it matters. Institutional priorities reflect a school's broader mission and goals. So understanding these priorities is just going to help you discuss your relevant strengths and experiences in a way that aligns with the school's current objectives, thereby increasing your chances of admission. And we move on to number 5, special talents, aka hooks. So perhaps you've heard about someone who had a hook that helped them through the admissions process. This refers to a personal trait or special achievement that benefits a student in the admission process because it meets an institutional priority. Admissions offices commonly see students with a hook in areas like the arts, music, or even athletics. Colleges value these exceptional skills or achievements because they complement the school's reputation and success, enhance college life, and may even add some prestige. And here's why it matters. Colleges are always looking for students who can bring something unique to their campus. Highlighting your special talents, passions, and backgrounds in an application can give you a slight edge in the admissions process. Here's number 6. Ability to pay in full. Oh, this will help you stand out, that's for sure. While most of us are looking for ways to reduce the cost of college, there is another strategy here. Just pay the full price. Why? It might increase your chances of being admitted, especially to private institutions or those with lower financial aid budgets. Let's take a look at full-pay students, those who don't receive any institutional aid. They contribute directly to a school's revenue, allowing the school to fund more scholarships, programs, and campus improvements. Colleges are constantly looking for new and additional funding, and a full-pay student instantly relieves some of the financial pressure on the institution. Here's why this matters. Schools sometimes consider a student's need for financial aid when deciding whether to admit them, though it's not the best strategy and is often faulted for favoring wealthy applicants. Being able to pay in full for 4 years may help open some doors at some very top-tier institutions. All right, number 7, application timing, and this is the last one. When you apply to a college can influence the admissions decision. Most schools offer an early action or an early decision time frame, and utilizing this opportunity can increase your chances of being accepted. So if you think back about, 10 minutes ago to the first thing we talked about in this podcast, you'll remember that colleges want prospective students to clearly demonstrate their interest in and commitment to the school. Applying early does just that. I applied my junior year of high school. It helped. Plus, it helps the admissions office proactively manage their offers of admission and anticipated enrollment numbers. Why it matters. The benefits of applying early include minimizing the stress of decision-making your senior year of high school, finding broader options for financial aid, receiving that decision sooner, and even allowing yourself more time to plan your academic future. Perhaps most importantly, though, demonstrating your interest early on can boost the likelihood you are accepted. When money can't buy you everything, there's far more to the admissions process than what meets the eye. While academic achievement, extracurricular involvement, and even test scores are absolutely important, they're not, believe it or not, the only elements considered in your college admissions decision. By no means am I advocating for these hidden factors at all. In fact, you may even feel that some of them have ethical drawbacks or even deepen existing inequities in the college admissions process. That's for sure, all right? So just trust your instincts. However, you should at least now have a much better idea of the multiple aspects that play a role in the admissions process and can hopefully best position yourself for your academic future because of this new knowledge we've given you today. And remember, each of these holds some weight of its own in the decision-making process. So if you're kind of not able to pay on your own through college, get a little bit creative with the other options for playing up your strengths and experiences. And that is our show for today. If you want to find out more, dive into some of the links that we talked about, some of the resources, there's a ton of them right inside this article at thecollegeinvestor.com. And again, follow us. We're everywhere on social media. Pretty much where you are, we are. Just search for The College Investor, and you'll probably find us. Thanks again for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.